Hello and welcome to Broadsword Wargaming. In this video, I am joined yet again by the lovely Ciara, and it has been 6 months since you started hobbying, so we are here to talk about your journey as a noob. Hello and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, please do click that subscribe button for more videos to come, or check out the link below if you wish to support the channel in any other way. Now Ciara, it is almost 6 months to the day since you painted your very first model live on camera.
Here he is.
Sir Dolan.
Look at that guy.
The Ultramarine. He looks good. And actually, even now looking back, I think for your first model, how do you feel 6 months down the line?
It's not that bad.
Since then, you've been doing quite a few other models. What have you done? What have you enjoyed? And what have sort of been the favourite things or the things you've learned in that process?
Well, what have I painted? More than you, anyway.
You have painted way more than me. You've done quite a lot of war crime models, haven't you?
Yes. I have 2 full war bands painted. I have some random models. I have some castigators. I've got my little Nomad Prince. He was one of my favourites. I've started the Blood Bowl guys now as well.
Oh yeah.
That's it really. I'm looking at them all now. There's quite a few when they're laid out.
We did have a few failed attempts. We did have that Blood Bowl.
That was my real first model. Not really. Not when I knew what I was doing. I just picked it up and whacked some yellow on it and that went wrong.
I think I stole the base off him and then threw it up in there.
That's fair.
I actually think I did.
That's fair. Because that was bad.
I tried to clean it for you, but...
No, that doesn't count. He was erased from my system.
What did you struggle with that model? Why was that so bad?
I guess whatever paint I picked up first, it was a yellow. I think I was base coating in a layer paint that was yellow. Just didn't cover anything. It was splodgy, see-through,
Green.
not opaque. I put a wash over it that was brown.
What models have you enjoyed painting in particular? I know you've done the Untamed Beasts, the Splintered Fangs.
The Untamed Beasts were my favourite to paint, although they were one of the first ones I painted, so I'd love to go back and paint them again. They're the most, they have the most skin on them for any model that I painted, and I worked really hard on improving my skin tones, and now I think I've got them to where I want them. I mean, there's always room to improve, obviously, but I'm really happy with the way I can do skin tones now, so I'd love to go back and paint them again. But they're still my favourite. They're definitely not the best ones I ever painted. They are my favourite models to paint.
Yeah, you didn't start with easiest models. You've done a lot of flesh on both of those war bands, and you can see the difference actually in the models. Say, look at that first guy you did following the Warhammer TV video, over to some other ones. You got a couple of guys. One that guy you call Inside Out Man. He looks a little bit
Inside Out Man.
Inside Out.
Yeah,
Man.
he just looks like a load of muscles, a lot of red stripy muscles.
Yeah, Inside Out Man. And you've been doing other things with capes as well. You've been moving on, so a lot of techniques you picked up, and I know you've been researching stuff. Like, where have you been finding this info out? So how have you been working stuff
Instagram has been my main inspiration, and obviously it just develops. So when you find one new person on Instagram that you really like, it leads to finding 10 more people that you really like. I think Instagram is the way forward. YouTube is great. I love to follow a YouTube tutorial. I find YouTube tutorials work best when you're copying the same model that they're doing.
You've not really played with an airbrush yet, which I do a lot with, but you haven't given that a go. So maybe that's something we can do for you on the camera.
There's a new YouTube tutorial coming out on Friday by somebody, so I might give that a watch, and if that looks at all doable, I might try that too.
Yeah, and we can see how you got on with that. Airbrush is a big deal for a lot of people. I've tried to do a video myself to sort of break that myth of it being this really, really difficult process, and you've seen me doing it. And you've had to go base coating stuff yourself. You're not really painted with it.
I'm scared. I'm scared of an airbrush.
Why?
I'm scared to break it. It just takes a long time. I thought you'd just go bzzz, and then you're like, there, it's painted, but it's like whereas painting is 2 thin coats, airbrush is like 50 and 100 transparent coats.
Well, maybe it has to be, maybe it doesn't. Depends what colours you're doing. So there's a whole lot of stuff on there I think that we can explore, or you can explore.
Yeah.
Zenable stuff and shading.
I mean, 6 months on, I feel like when I look at where I started and where I am now, I feel like I've definitely improved. So I'm excited to see 6 months from now where I'll be.
And you have actually been very good at finishing projects as well. I'm never like that. I've got like 5 things on the go. But you have been nailing down a band, a Blood Bowl thing.
Right.
Whatever.
But I know a lot of people batch paint, and I guess I do when I'm doing a whole war band, but I don't do it the way most people do it. And that's not a good thing. Whereas most people would do like skin, you know, armor, you know, I'll do like one model and then another model because I get so bored just doing, okay, I'll do all this color on 5 or 6 models. I just find that really boring. So,
but if it's keeping your interest, there's certainly no right or wrong way to do that.
It might take a little bit long. Do you know what? It's probably just more wasteful because you have to reuse the same paints over and over.
Change more paints.
And then you forgot what you've done, and it's a whole thing. But it just, I find it more interesting than batch painting. Is that's a means to an end.
Batch painting's boring.
It's a means to an end. If you want your army painted, that's the way to do it. If you just want to get on and play. But if you're painting for the sake of painting, it's not the way.
You don't fancy a 24-hour video then?
No.
You haven't played a lot yet. We've only had a couple of games of Warcry, and maybe that's something we'll explore a bit further. But
that's on my to-do list, like really high.
Yeah.
I want to learn how to play. I still find that very overwhelming. But you know, am I doing I guess?
As someone like who's interested in you getting into the hobby as well, as my partner, it's quite nice that you are. And I never want to like force you to say, here's 40k, play 40k, play 40k. I don't know if that's something people do generally, but it's nice to let you explore things on your own. And actually, you look at things quite differently to the way I would look at stuff. You know, you look at models very like singularly. I can't help but think, okay, that's 500 points, that's a faction, that's an army, that's a good unit, that's a bad unit. And I don't like play that way particularly. So I struggle to just buy something for the sake of it. And maybe that's just, I'm probably wrong with that. Actually, buy something because I want to paint it. So,
well, no, because there's painters and there's players. There's nothing wrong with that. So.
Don't hate the players, hate the game.
There's painters, there's players, and there's both. Do you know what I mean? There's plenty of people that want to play with unpainted models.
You haven't got used to putting models together yet, then?
Well, I haven't got used to it because I never do it.
You don't need it.
I don't want to do it. Never a builder and a painter be. That's what my mom always said.
Is that a saying motto? I'll put that down here, and you can just copy that and I'll put it on your grade.
I've put together some easy build models, no glue required.
Yeah, you did pop.
Glue just seems very permanent. It makes me feel very tied down. You know, it makes me want to go, run.
You want freedom.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say to that. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe then just to round it up, a couple of like maybe some advice. I'm going to put you on the spot, or some tips maybe you'd have for new people getting into Warhammer. What would your top 3 tips be?
There's 2 types of people that want to get into it. There's people that want to get into it because they know, you know, they're big into the lore and they think it sounds really cool. And that, you know, just I wish I was you people. If you were like me and you have no idea, or you see other people doing it and you're like, I want to do what they're doing, but I don't know what to do. Go into a shop and buy whatever looks cool. Just do it. Get it home, build it, paint it, and go on Instagram and find Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, whatever you're into. Probably Twitter. I don't use Twitter, but I'd say there's a whole community there too. Find some other pages that have painted what you bought, and trust me, it'll just go from there. Like, don't feel you have to buy an army because you know someone who has this army and you're thinking, well, if I ever play them, this would be good. Just don't. Just buy what you're interested in, and your knowledge will grow from there. You don't have to know everything straight away, and people are expecting you to know everything straight away, which is something that I thought at the beginning. I thought, you know, I can't go and talk to people about this until I know what everyone's talking about, because I'm just going to feel like an idiot.
The same with like your own stream. You do stream as well on Twitch now, so but do check that out. People were talking about Death Guard and like Nerdle and all these things. I think just by hearing the terminology, you learn to like absorb that information and know what something is. Like, you know, Nerdle, kind of like disgusting. Lots of disgustingness. But
it's fine to go in and not know, because people are just very forthcoming with it, and they're happy to share it with you and teach you. Like, it's not, people aren't going to go, well, you don't even know what you're talking about. It just doesn't happen. I'm sure it does happen, but I haven't encountered that yet, not in real life. So just don't worry, just buy what looks cool to you and go from there.
Yeah, so buy what looks cool, get involved in the social media.
That's my 2 biggest tips.
And get good.
Don't worry about what you have to buy. That was one of my main worries. I'd go into a shop, I'd say, I don't even know where to begin. Just begin with whatever you can afford and whatever looks cool, and get involved in the community, because they will teach you everything you need to know.
Well, there we go. If you can leave it there, 6 months in, a font of knowledge.
I know absolutely nothing. Yeah. I would have expected to know a lot more in 6 months.
What have I learned in 6 months? Nothing.
Yeah, use a wet palette and be good at painting.
Yeah, we'll leave it there. So thank you very much, Ciara, for that. All the information there. If you guys have enjoyed this video and want to see more of Ciara or what she's been up to, do check out her Twitch and Instagram. If you want to follow and support the channel, make sure you like, share, subscribe, and hit the alarm bell. Check out the links below for more content or other ways to support the channel. There is a link down there to Patreon. So all my patrons, thank you very much, guys, for your support. There's some links down there to the Amazon shop. So there's some affiliate links as well with Element Games and Grim Dice. So do make sure to check those out, and thank you, and I appreciate all of your support, guys. Again, thank you very much, Ciara. That's it from us.
You're welcome.
I will catch you in another video. Take care.